Everyone. Very thankful to be here. Really, I just want to first off start off by thanking just all of the support that we had in Las Vegas this weekend, all of the fans, the alum. It was really exciting, and it was pleasant to be able to see and just. I think we had like probably half of the crowd was our fans, so I mean it meant a lot to be able to see everyone there, and I wanted to make sure that I thank them guys personally, thank everybody that was there, and just thank all the support. And honestly, because of the cheering and being able to feel their energy and passion, I think that was something else that gave us that boost to be able to fight through at the end. So I want to thank them. Now trying to move on to this week, get an opportunity to play NC State. Coach Durham, I got a chance to meet him a few times, like known him a good coach. Been there, I think, 10 years now. The second most winningest coach in the school history. Just a really good football coach. Their offensive coordinator. I always mess up his last name, so I always call him Coach Rob. Coach Rob is was here a few years ago. Was a real good offensive coordinator. Does a good job. Tony Gibson, who's been known for years to be a good defensive coordinator. I remember him at West Virginia and all, being able to see him there, so he's done a good job. And then when it just comes to the quarterback situation, of course, Grayson McCall is might be out, might be in. I'm just pray that he's doing well, doing fine. I've seen the shot that he ended up got taken out of the game last week, and I mean he's a tough kid. He's been through a lot of stuff, but I just pray that he's doing well. I got a chance to know Bailey a little bit from down in Florida in the recruiting trail, so I know he's a good player also that they had been playing already, so to be good with those guys. And once again, Noise, there's a lot of progress here when you're around in Syracuse right now. Of course, all the renovation that's going on. We'll be in a new building next year in about 6 months, actually, less than that. So we'll be in a new building. It's just a lot of progress going on. So it's a lot of things happening. So a lot of the noise that you hear, we apologize, but we can't stop the progress that's going on, and we're happy that it is going on because we do have a new building going. So sorry to stop that in the way, but I know they keep coming. The running backs, I think 0 on 7. Jordan Waters is 7, who's a really good running back. He's the bigger back that takes the bulk of all the carries. Done a real good job. Concepcion, the wide receiver, is really good. 10, he's electrifying. He's a guy that's explosive, a gadget player, but he's also can beat you deep. Like he's just a complete wide receiver. We like that kid a lot. I remember him in high school. Tight end Justin was at Iona Prep. I was recruiting a kid before and was at Iona Prep, so I remember him and getting the opportunity to see that kid. He did a really good job as a football player. And just their wide receivers overall. I think Noah's good. I think Wesley Grimes is good. And defensively, Caden, both linebackers, Caden and Sean, the DB, Kaufman is a really good football player. Aiden White, and then a defensive end, Davin Band. Sorry if I messed his name up a little bit, but they got a DN that's really good. He's very productive, has like 20 tackles, 6.5 TFLs. I mean, he's a really productive football player. We get to go against a really good football team. Like I said, Coach has been coaching for a long time. He's known to be a good football coach and no tolerance, a very detailed program. So I'm happy that we get the honor to go down to NC State to be able to face them at their home. And so it's going to be a big test for us. So we're excited to have the opportunity to do that.
Start right in the front with Mark and Emily.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Fine.
Two kind of related questions. First, how's LeQuint doing? He was in a lot of pain, Saturday. And related to LeQuint, how much easier is it for you to embed Dart as the culture of the program when you have guys like LeQuint who just refuse to come out of the game no matter how much pain he's in?
Yeah, he's just tough. So like I said before, he exemplifies Dart, but the T in that is for him. The R and the T actually just relentless, and he's very tough. He just works his butt off. He definitely will be okay. He's fine. He's practicing today, so LeQuint, I mean, he's right back after it. He's not going to stop that kid. He's just a tough kid. He's like I tell you guys all the time, he's the passion of our program, and if I could just take one person and have every single other kid on our football team act and be just who he is, it will be LeQuint Allen.
Sticking with the personnel theme, is there anyone that the team's been missing these past few weeks that you're expecting to be able to play this weekend?
Marcellus Barnes will be back, so it'd be good. Marcellus will be practicing, and he'll be back, so it'd be good to have him. Hopefully he looks good in practice, and he can beat the guys out that are in front of him to be able to play again. But he should be back. We'll watch him today and see how fast he can move and run. But we hope that Marcellus will be back, and that's a good deal for us when it comes to Marcellus. And then I feel like Justice Ross Simmons will be back in rare form, so having a chance to seeing him being able to go do it, he got about 10 to 12 reps Friday night, and it looked pretty good, and he seems ready. I met with him this morning, and we talked a little bit. So he's just ready. He's eager to go get the ball. So we're excited about Justice Ross coming back because that was a big piece of our offseason. Being able to get him he's like a huge free agent for us to get, and we haven't had an opportunity of getting him. But now, NFL terms, he's off the PUP list, and he's ready to go. So excited about him.
And then on Saturday, I had seen you pull Malachi James out of warm-ups. Is that an injury or something else?
Yeah, so Malachi he didn't practice the entire time. He came down on the other things, and it was like, hey, you're not here to practice or to play. You can't do that. So it was just a misunderstanding on his part, being young, not knowing the reason that he came down in different pieces. Like, he was helping us all week, and then all of a sudden he just thought he was going to play when he wasn't. He didn't even practice or anything. So you can't play if you don't practice. That wasn't his base of being there.
So he's healthy. It was just like
he'll be healthy. It was just that week. So he'll be back this week. He'll be back playing kick returner for us and doing all those things. He's going back to all his normal duties.
Here's Christian here.
Coach, you mentioned the fan support that you got in Vegas. What does it say about your team and the program that you're building right now that you had so many fans so early on traveling to a road game so far away?
It says that they're dedicated to Syracuse. That's like who Syracuse has been all along. They just I get the right feeling, the right timing, to be able to support. I can't really say what it says about them because that was my envision of it. So it's just going that way, it's going the way that it is. I think we have some of the better fans in the country, and I think it showed you that Friday night in Vegas, all the way across the country. They were all there to support, and they were extremely loud, and I was very thankful, happy, and I just can't wait. I think they'll travel again this week. I think that's going to be that's what our fans are going to do. That's just what they do. That's how it is everywhere. If you go somewhere to play football and you have a football team that you can see we're making progress and we're pushing along and becoming a real team and building a program. So I feel like the fans are just doing what any other fans do everywhere else, but you just hear it a little bit more when it's that Cuse, So it's a little bit more pride that we have.
Look at the third row.
Coach, what's impressed you most with Coach Nixon and the way he's handling the offense?
Just his ability to be able to keep all the guys happy. We got a lot of players on the football team, and everyone wants the ball. You play offense to get the ball, and just them being able to understand that your day will come. Everyone has a different day. Sometimes last few weeks it was just Trevor. Before now, this week coming back, it was OG again, So it's just different guys, and Jackson Meeks 2 weeks in a row. Before that, it wasn't Meeks, it was Amari, and before that, Gil get the ball. So it's just different guys, and just kids understanding that, not kids, they're young men. The young men understanding that my time will come. As long as we win, they'll know who I am, and that's what we're pushing. It's all about winning. It's about the S. It's about winning. It's about the S. And I think his offense fits who Syracuse is, and just shows you who he's been throughout his career, which is why I wanted him to come here and help us.
Just about playing on the road, a little bit different focus. Are you noticing that with the team, that playing on the road has a different kind of focus?
Yeah, we just try to follow our core values and just stay focused on what's important and just live in the moment. Each quarter has its own meaning. Each quarter means something different, and just being able to focus at that moment and being able to fight through. So I think you kind of seen our guys, they'll compete the entire game. So they're just able to compete, just live in the moment and compete.
We'll go up to Samantha and then Maddie.
I just want to know what was running through your mind once you realized in the game against UNLV that you were going to be going into overtime, and what that win meant to you as a head coach, knowing that you had won it, in an overtime situation.
So when we scored, all of the staff and everybody on our whole staff wanted to go for 2 points to go and win it. It was like when you play away, you go for 2, coach. You got to go and do this. And I just turned around, and I looked at the players, honestly, and I looked at the fans, and I said, they don't practice like us. Like, I'm not saying they don't, because everybody takes it the wrong way, but I know how we work in practice. I know what we do, and I knew they said they wanted to go into the 4th, but I wasn't sure about the 5th. So I just kind of wanted to put it on the players and give them an opportunity to show how hard they work and, what they've done all summer, and just kind of put it to play. And I thought they did a good job of going out there and exemplifying how hard they worked in the weight room. Our strength and conditioning coach, Chad Smith and JB and all those guys do an amazing job. So it kind of showed up that they were able to last for extra somewhat of a quarter.
Coach, a while back we talked about Kyle McCord running for the first down, and you just talked about how much that meant to the program. LeQuint's touchdown, game-winning touchdown in overtime, what did that do for the program this week and, kind of show to the rest of the nation?
I thought Kyle's run was like our team in the program with us. Like, yes, it did happen, it worked, it wasn't done it. But I feel like LeQuint's run was for everyone that has anything to do with Syracuse. In all reality, that fight, that push, the number 44s, that war, you could see them probably making that same play. And I just thought it was for history, and it was the moment, and it was something that all those fans deserve to see that, to be at that game. That will be a football game that they'll talk about that for the rest of their lives, of everybody going to travel out to the West Coast. We was in Vegas, went to overtime, and we got a chance to be the undefeated team. So, I think it just meant a lot for everyone that has anything to do with Syracuse.
We'll right back down front to Brent and Chris.
Coach, with the issues you're having on special teams right now, I'm curious about accountability, as you say in Dart.
Mm-hmm.
What are some examples of coaches and players saying, hey, that's on me, I'm going to fix this, this is what we see in the film, and the process they're doing to get better there?
Like I told you Friday night when Emily had actually asked me the question. I thought Emily asked me that, and I said I would address it, which I have already addressed it, and we're going to address it today in practice as we go out to practice and keep going. But I addressed the special teams, and we'll get better at it. Accountability is on me. Like, I'm the head football coach, so that starts with me. No one really cares of what it was or who did what. We'll show the players a little bit more of that today, but all of that is on myself, and I have to make sure that our special teams are better because we got lucky 2 games where special teams could have cost us a loss and we won, but it's going to come around where that won't be able to happen that way. So I'm hoping that I'm not hoping, we're going to change that and get to a different way. So we're trying to focus on our special teams because I know, I think his name is Coach Gobble, the special teams coordinator at NC State, is really good. So we got to prepare and get ready to go down to NC State to be able to play against these guys, and just being able to do everything the right way, execute when it's time to punt. It's an organized turnover. Let's make sure we give them the ball. And when it's time to receive a kick, let's do what's needed, whether we fair catch or we get it out past the 25. Punt team, we're either going to rush the punter or we're going to hold up to do things, but we have to do what's needed on each team, and especially during that point of the game. So situational football, we put ourselves kind of behind a little bit in the last few games when it came to special teams, and I have to do a better job at that, and I addressed it with our entire staff that I do have to do a better job, and I'll make sure that that's done throughout this week.
Follow up on that quickly. You mentioned Friday you were going to consult with some people you trust in the coaching circles with special teams. Have you done that, and maybe some that you learned from that process?
Yeah, whatever I say I'm going to do, I'll do it. It definitely was done. I won't tell you some of the results or anything because we're about to play NC State, and they're an extremely good football team. I don't want them to know, who I talk to, because then they'll naturally start to think about what they do or whatever. But I did everything I told you I was going to do on Friday. I've already done that and a little more. So I'm excited, but NC State is a really good football team, so we got to really focus on NC State and trying to forget about the last game. I always want to move on. I don't want to stay in a moment. I know that it was an overtime great win and all those things of that nature, and it means a lot to our community and just overall. But at the end of the day, we got to get ready for NC State because they're a really good football team who almost won the conference last year. Their coach, 10 years, like I said, the second most winningest head coach at that program, and they've had some good like coaches, Chuck Amato and all those guys that was there in the history. So he's a real good football coach, and we got to go there. So I would rather kind of UNLV is done, and I want to move on to NC State if that's possible.
I wanted to ask you a question on recruiting, if I could. Coaches are in a tough spot because normally you get 85 scholarships. If the settlement goes through, you get more. You have 30 verbals, which is the most in the country right now. Is part of that sort of planning ahead and thinking we might be able to go 85? And how are you having conversations with recruits? Because you want to be able to use the extra spots, but like you want to be honest with the kids if it doesn't go through.
I'm honest with everybody, but it's a different ball game of how you can recruit and who you can bring in and who may have to go and different things of that nature like that. But of course, I'm preparing for the rule to go through and all those things of that nature. But then in the same sense, I want to have the best football players that we can possibly have here on this football team to help us be a better program. So I always move that way. I'm going to just do it like that. I don't really want to answer much more about that. That's kind of a set me up question. So, that's not a good thing for me to get into and try to answer that. I'm trying to focus on NC State. I'm definitely not thinking about recruiting. And the franchise 25 guys that are all committed, they're my guys, and they know we locked in. So anything else, it's irrelevant, to be honest.
Coach, I'm just wondering what you learned about your team going on the road for the first time and winning in, sort of the way they did.
That we're dark. We just try to follow the culture, our core values. I think CCT came through. They showed that they were committed, they care, and we trust each other. But it's really just the love, like we love each other. Like our football team they love each other. They spend time together. We're around each other. Now, at first we used to force them to be around each other. Now they just are naturally around each other. And it's just a time, and you start to play for the guy next to you. Just do things for him because you know what his dreams and aspirations are. Once you get to know people more, you're more invested. So just that piece of it.
Coach, congrats on the win last week as well. Just looking at McCord, 63 passing attempts last week. Just what do you think that says about kind of the trust that you and your coaching staff has in him to kind of continuously have so many passing attempts and thrive and move your team forward?
We just do whatever is going to allow us to win. I mean, we trust Kyle, right? Like I trust Kyle a lot. Everybody trusts Kyle. He does a good job and he's able to handle that. But he just sees what he sees what's open. He tries to take what's open. A lot of those, like I said before, are RPOs, but he'll pull because he'll see a throw that's a little bit different. So it's more. So of course we trust him a lot, but it's just what the defense is giving at the moment for us to be able to take and give.
Last three for Coach. We'll start with Mark, then go to Emily, and then finish with Maddie.
Coach, what did Yassine Willis show you Friday night stepping in, when LeQuint was hurt and with Nixon being unavailable? What did Yassine show you?
Yassine just showed me the same thing we've always saw from him. I mean, he's just been maturing more and more. He's been maturing, and he hasn't been playing he's been playing good football the last 2 weeks too. So, but he's just maturing. I mean, he showed us what he shows in practice. It's what he does every day. So he just shows that he can run the ball. He's a load to take down. He's a big kid, but he's passionate. He loves football, but he's still young. He's 19 years old. He's a young kid, but he loves the game. He loves to compete. And I was happy that he got a chance to get out there and show who he is and what he can do because he needed that, and that was good for him. And I'm so happy for him. I was so excited when he scored, and just happy for all that he's doing academically. He was over 3.0 last semester. He's doing the right thing in the classroom again now, and then he got a chance to go on the field and be able to do that. So you just hope that young kids are able to sustain success, in all areas of their life, and not just when things start to happen the right way in football, that they forget about the other things and forget about what got him there. But he's a good kid. Mom and dad are Class A people, his uncle. So I know they'll be able to keep him on track, and so will we. So we're excited about Yassine.
We heard last week that you had opened up the place kicking competition and then kind of saw Brady and Jaden split those duties on Friday night, with Brady doing kickoffs and Jaden taking PATs and such. I guess, what did you see out of Jaden that won him that role in the kicking game?
It was just tough. He kept working. He worked his butt off. Like, he wanted to compete. And I just like competitive people. And, you know, he was a guy like, you know, they talked about here at Syracuse or diamonds in the rough. He was a diamond in the rough, and he just kept working. And he just kept working. He kept his head down, and he worked. And he won the competition last week, so therefore he was able to kick in the games.
And Maddie for last question.
Was that him? Oh.
With preparation for a road game, what did you kind of learn from last week preparing for a road trip that maybe you're going to adjust or change heading into this week with NC State?
I think it's different due to the time zones. So we traveled across the country, so it was a different base of being able to travel and different things that you have to do now. We're just traveling like about, I think like 9 hours, something like that maybe. We're traveling 9 hours, so it's a difference of the travel, so it's not the same. We're in the same time zone. There's a couple, I felt like, well, our staff, our athletic trainer, Brandon Hall, and his staff did a really good job, and our strength and conditioning coaches, they all did a good job. So shout out to Ryan Kelly. He was just on point with everything. You know, our associate athletic director for football, he handled everything the right way, and he made it real simple and easy for the coaches. It was almost like we were in kindergarten, and he just was like taking us right through it. He did everything right, and everybody had everything that they needed throughout the entire trip. Let's get him because he was waiting the whole time. You kept not telling him no.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Carson, go ahead.
Coach, what can you say about the resilience of your team? You know, back in the effort all game, you're down late in the fourth quarter, tie it, and then in overtime, you end up winning. Like, what can you say about the toughness of everything you played into?
We had LaQuint Allen, and he just had a little more gas than most people. We know we're getting to overtime. We wanted to give it the ball to LaQuint. You know, I think LaQuint is he's really a tough kid. He does a really good job. He's been doing that his entire life. So we just wanted to get LaQuint the ball. We knew that Kyle would give us an opportunity to win the football game, which is why we got him here. Kyle is making this more like college football. To me, is becoming like the NFL. If you watched everything all weekend, and we have a really good quarterback. So our quarterback's going to give us a chance at the end. You know, we'll always have a chance because of Kyle, and I think that's why he's one of the better quarterbacks in the country, because he's really good at situational football. All the other stuff, anybody can do those things, but when you get down to our situational football, if you've been watching us throughout the year, he's done a really good job. So with Kyle and LaQuint on our offense side of the ball, and then you got OG, who made a really good catch that a lot of people don't kind of remember. OG catching that pass and doing that helped a lot. But just, I mean, we do it every day in practice. So, you know, you practice, whatever you do in practice, I believe that's what happens in the game. You know, appreciate you guys though. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Come around to the player.